I knew I was addicted to sex. I was in college, but I dropped out to focus on our relationship. And actually overdosed on the antidepressants. I took the job wrong, expected to be a receptionist. I went to the interview, which ended up being an induction. And the manager basically told me, what are you willing to do?
So what's drawing you to this role is?
Paying his debt. Paying his debt. Clearing his debt. He'll love me if I clear his debt. Nothing in my head was able to process, you're about to be a prostitute.
Wow. Hello and welcome. This has been a long time coming. Yes. We have joining me today, Jade Tendo. Yeah. I've been trying to get it to be, you need to name a child Nin so we can have Nin Tendo, but we're going to, please call a child Nin. I'm sure Nin is a name. It's short for something.
It is, but no.
What is it? Ninasco?
I can't remember, but no. I rejected it from when I heard it.
I even saw it as a meme. I think went viral. You guys need to have a child called Nin. No. But it's good to have you here. Your husband isn't here with me, but he's going to be on a separate show, Isaac Tendo. Yeah. But it's great to have you with me. And we are having, this conversation, I'm sure it's going to be explosive. Yeah. I want to dive straight in if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Let's go back into childhood. Who is Jade Tendo? Young girl. Early memories, as early as you can remember.
Yeah, so I grew up with my mom, with my dad, and I have an older brother. We grew up fairly normal family. My husband calls us middle class, but I would not say we were middle class. We were, I would say, working class, but we had...
Where were you living?
We were in the hood. We were in the
UK hood?
Yes, UK hood. Okay. Southeast London. But we
These
had
ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a decent amount of money, meaning we was able to have holidays. My parents had a holiday home in Portugal.
Nice.
And so we frequently traveled back and forth. But yeah, we had a good childhood. My parents, as far as I knew when I was young, had a healthy marriage, but I think around the time of like early teens, that's when I started to see, okay, things were rocky and they started to go through a divorce. But before I jump ahead, I had a very close relationship with my dad. I was close to my mom, but I was closer to my dad. So I've always navigated, or I would say more so gravitated towards men more in my life because of my relationship with my dad.
So you're a daddy's girl?
Yeah, I still am, to be honest. We're not as close because my dad lives in Thailand. So he actually has a home in Thailand. I don't think you knew that.
No, I did not know that.
Yes.
Where are you originally from?
So my dad is from South America. He's Guyanese.
Okay.
My mum is Caribbean and she's from Grenada. And so when I was getting older, I didn't really know how to navigate my relationship with my mum. So telling her like different changes you go through as a young woman, when you like a boy, stuff like that. I didn't really know how to navigate stuff like that. So I had a few situations happen in school where I liked a boy and I shared, how I was feeling. And at the time, I didn't realize that the friendship circles I had were not always safe spaces. One friend in particular, I didn't realize that she was undercover, I would say maybe homosexual. I think she was trying to navigate what she was. And so I recall naturally...
And back then it wasn't popular like it is now. Everybody's, proud about it and loud about it.
You had to keep it quiet.
Then you kept it quiet, especially in the sort of Afro-Caribbean communities. You just don't talk about it. It can be a real cause of shame.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a very quiet thing. And I didn't really know what was going on too tough. But I remember one specific day, I came to school and she was very off. She was still friendly towards me, but she was just off. She actually, we asked the teacher if we could go to the toilet. And it was coming up to break, so the teacher doesn't usually let you go toilet that close to the break time, but she let us go. And we went together, and in the toilet,
I know you're enjoying the content. I'm sorry to have interrupted you, but please don't forget I'm watching you right now. You keep watching, but you haven't liked. You're a suspect. You haven't subscribed and you haven't shared. Make sure you hit that button now, or else nothing. Jesus loves you, but hit subscribe.
She came into my cubicle and straight away she was just like, I want to do something that basically I've heard like my mum talk about. My mum said this, my mum said that, and I wasn't really sure what she was like. Oh, girls do this and it's a natural thing, you know, that happens. So I kind of was intrigued and didn't really know what to do. I was about 8 years old at this point, so wasn't really familiar with anyone touching my body apart from my mum when she washed me or helped me kind of wash and stuff and get dressed. So actually in the cubicle, she pulled my underwear down and began to touch me and began to rub her body on me. And then this incident happened and I left the school, went home.
I just cut in. I think sometimes this is why we have to pray for our children.
Yes.
Because even though, for example, I talk to my kids, my wife especially, about everything.
Yeah.
We don't even call it strange names. We call penis, vagina, vagina. We tell them exactly what it is. Even all the swear words, they know all of them, so they don't go, oh, when they hear it in a movie, they're not taking much off. Because even though you come from a well-to-do home, you don't know where these kids are coming from. When I was around the same age, I went to the toilet during lunch break, a girl was going as well. She said, come in here. And similar situation.
Yeah.
But my parents didn't talk to me about
exactly, and it's the same for
me.
They
spoke to me, I think, when I was 13, really late. When I heard rap music for the first time, I was blown away because all I knew was S Club. Brought up in a white place, you know, I was brought up in Essex. So S Club 7 and Bewitched and Peter Andre and Boyzone, Backstreet Boys. So when I hear Ja Rule and Tupac and Nelly and all these guys, oh my goodness, Slim Shady.
He was very.
I changed immediately because of all these things. So I just want to say that. So you go into this bathroom, you have this sexual experience. Did you know at the time this is sexual or?
Yeah. So I missed something. So actually, when I was, this was probably in the same year, the same school year. I shared this quite recently, but I came across when I was at home. So I live with my mum, my dad, and my brother. I came across a pornographic tape in my house, and so what happened in school
I'm so
actually made sense.
Yeah, I mean, same situation. I came across pornographic tapes. I'm not going into detail at all. Lots of them. But I can explain mine. It's not that my parents are. My dad's a gynecologist. As a gynecologist, he has to teach sex to his. But I didn't know, and I'm watching, and it was almost encyclopedic. They're saying, you know, this is how, this is this position, this is that. Me and my twin brother are just wide-eyed, drowning in this stuff, wondering what's going on. So you already got some kind of context for sexual experience. But this is your first sexual experiences with a girl.
Absolutely. Yeah, but what I didn't share is the pornographic tape was of 2 women, the one that I watched. So the first one I watched was of 2 women, schoolgirls. They were in school uniforms, doing obviously what I know now as role play and all of that stuff. And so I just thought, like, what is happening? Like, I don't know what's happening. Maybe they're having fun because they were giggling. But I remember I felt nervous watching that first tape, so I shut it off. I didn't see the fullness of it. And so when this thing happened now in school, I was quite confused, thinking, okay, it reminds me of what happened in the tape, but I don't feel fun. Like, I don't feel this is, you know, exciting. And so
I didn't enjoy it.
No. I was, of course, like, the body will do what the body does, but I also was very confused as to why this was happening, and I felt very confused. So actually that brought a lot of shame, and it made me quite, as they called back in the 90s or early 2000s, frigid. It made me very, like, just closed off. I didn't want to be around people, didn't want to talk to boys or anything like that.
So you noticed an immediate change in your behavior after that?
Yeah, absolutely. I felt like there was something wrong with me, and I was going through my own form of condemnation, like, you know, why did you
Are you a Christian
allow
at the time?
No, I wasn't a Christian. I grew up in a Christian home, but I didn't know what condemnation was. So in my head, I was just like blaming myself. Oh, it's your fault. You shouldn't have went in. Yeah.
Yes.
You shouldn't have went in there with her.
How's your relationship with that girl after? Are you still
I
close,
never
or you
spoke to
just?
her. I never spoke to her again.
Wow.
I avoided her. I just thought she was weird for doing that. Whereas now I have so much compassion for her because I understand anyone who does anything like that has probably gone through something.
Themselves,
yeah.
yes.
And so, yeah. But one thing I would say is that actually played on my mind a lot throughout my adolescence, to the point where I almost became someone who done that. And I remember I went out to play with a friend, and we were in a tent. It was summertime. She had like a pop-up tent. We were in a tent. And I remember she was always very like touchy and all of that stuff with me. And so I remember in the moment feeling like, oh, you know, this has happened to me. Maybe she is familiar with it as well. I was, as I said, confused. And so I almost enacted what happened to me.
Right.
But I remember feeling straight away the feeling that I felt, that when the act happened, how I felt after. I was like, no, this is wrong. And I don't want her to feel like that. And so we actually ended up, we were still very young. We actually ended up talking about, you know, because we were playing with Barbies, you know, is this right? And is this wrong? And etc. She was around my age. So she kind of understood. But I was so happy because in that moment, my mum called me back home and I was like, now I understand anything could have happened. And it could have went in a even further, you know, direction.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. So these are some of your early years.
Yes.
Are you feeling imprinted? Or are you feeling, describe that.
So I just felt dirty. I felt like something had been taken away from me. I felt like not so much that like my choice had been taken, but I just felt like I had an option and I didn't even get to choose whether, you know, the first kiss or the first whatever happened with a boy or with a girl, someone just took my body and done whatever they wanted to do.
So there's really no such thing as casual sex?
No.
It becomes casual, I think, after your first experience was sort of taken away from you. Then you kind of have a casual approach to something that's actually quite identity shaping.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely rocked my identity and it played out throughout my teen years. I got into eventually a lot of, what would I say, like describe as maybe like bi situations where I would be dating a man, but I would always invite another. I'd be like, oh, we can have a threesome, or, you know, you can bring, oh, she's pretty, why don't you talk to her and she can come in as well.
People may not understand that, but your boundaries already been played with. So what looks like normal is already shattered. That's a major boundary, sexual boundary.
Absolutely.
That's why there's a whole area of study called psychosexual health.
Yeah.
Because sex actually affects your psychology big time. So your boundaries are affected. You're now looking for more extreme expressions of sexual encounter to reach some kind of, especially I think when you have your first experience, it's like a drug.
You're
trying to find that place again. And you can't find it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Were you in some ways ashamed of the fact that it was a girl, or were you at the point, did you get with lots of guys, or what was your?
Yeah, so I was so ashamed that it was a girl that I got with every guy that showed any form of interest in me.
Right.
So every single guy that looked at me, said I was pretty, I was always like offering myself. And so when I say this, in the sense, this was before the age of 17, I never actually had another sexual encounter. I was just always flirtatious. I would always go like,
so from 8 to 17?
Nothing. Just playful stuff. So touching and allowing people, like, so men to touch me, but I never allowed any form of like penetration or anything like that. I remained a virgin until I was 17.
Sure.
Once I decided, because now it was my choice, and so I wanted whoever I was going to give myself to be my choice. And so I chose the person I wanted to give myself to.
Do your parents know anything at this point?
Oh, no.
So when was the divorce?
So they divorced when I was 15. This was the year I got saved. So they divorced. Yeah, they divorced when it was official when I was 15. And I went left when they divorced.
How did their divorce affect you?
Oh, as I said, I was a daddy's girl. So now my dad has left the home and he's gone to, you know, have his own space. And I'm left with my mum, who I have a relationship with, but I'm not close to. And so it affected me in a sense of, I felt like every man that I now would date in the future, if I got married, he would leave me. There was no trust whatsoever. I felt like...
But then did you know why they got divorced? Did you have any
No.
understanding?
So me and my mum...
Did you see fights and arguments?
No. Me and my mum went away to Portugal to the holiday home.
Okay.
We came back and my dad had left. So what I now know is, obviously they had an argument and he removed himself. But I didn't know, and nothing was told to me. I wasn't explained. When I spoke with my brother about this later as well, he said he didn't know either, because he was actually staying with a family friend. He didn't come on the holiday with us.
So your parents didn't sit down and say,
no,
this
there
is
was
why.
no explanation.
You just come home and dad's...
Yeah, and then eventually
Do you know
I
how
find out
crazy that
dad,
is?
yes, it's
And you normalized it. You just got on with things.
Dysfunctional.
Did you not ask questions?
No, at that age, 15, I was so about friends and just having fun and school life, and I cared about family, home and all of that stuff, but I just didn't really understand. I felt like it was there. They needed to tell me, and now I was left with my mum. I wasn't as close to my mum, so I wasn't going to ask my mum, you know, what's going on. She was quite sharp at that time as well because she was hurt. So if I did touch on anything, it was very much like, go to your room, or, you know, there was very shut down straight away.
And did your dad stop speaking to you, or is he in your life still?
Oh, no, me and my dad are very close now. We have a
but
great
I mean,
relationship.
at the time, did he...
Oh, at that time...
Distance? Was he still there, showing up?
He was around, yeah.
So it was like joint parenting?
Yeah, he was trying to maintain a good relationship with my mum. So he would come round for birthdays, Christmas, he was always there. And they tried to work on the friendship. We had a good relationship. So we would go to his house and stay there maybe a weekend or whatever, like throughout the month. Okay. So there was still something building. Okay. And that continued until around the time I had my first child. Okay. And then that's when we
So
just
your parents are split, you're a party girl. Why are you partying? What are you looking for?
I was looking for love.
Fun
I was looking for...
or love?
I was looking for love.
Really?
A bit of fun as well. Okay. I was young.
So you think you're going to find the love in the parties?
Yeah.
You're going to find... Like, you really in this mindset for the love of
I genuinely
the love of
felt
my
like
life.
The guy I wanted would be somebody who was like me, who liked to be out, who liked to have fun. And I felt like all my friends were at the parties and they were finding boyfriends, they were with somebody. And so the guy I met, who is the father to my first child, I met him at a party. And so I felt like, yeah, I won. I've found, you know, a very handsome man who I can, you know, live my life with, have my children with.
How old were you at the time?
17.
17?
Yeah.
And you're already thinking you found the one. Nothing in your mind is thinking, this man's going to leave me like my dad left me?
Not yet, no.
Not yet. You're just like, I'm going to be better than my mom. Yes. I'm going to do better. This woman didn't know how to keep a man. I'm going to keep a man. Blah, blah, blah. That's your mindset.
That was the thought.
So you meet this guy in a party. I'm just trying to understand the mindset as well. Yeah. You're looking for love. You meet this guy. Is it infatuation, love at first sight?
Absolutely, yeah. It was lust. It was just lust. First sight. Yeah. It was very much like, I like the way he looks. He's funny, and I want him to be mine. Okay. And I think he felt very much the same because, in fact, the first day we met, we actually slept together. So
the same day.
Yeah. So we had a very infatuated car journey.
So this was, oh God. So this was so this was your first sexual experience in terms of...
My first so this wasn't my first, this wasn't me losing my virginity. Okay. This was, so with losing my virginity, I chose somebody.
Before this guy,
lost my virginity.
Already... Okay.
Yeah, and then that was it.
Okay.
And then
so
I
that
said,
one,
see you later.
You just did it into bar.
I just wanted to lose my virginity.
To get it over with.
Yeah, so I could have the safe space. I knew he would be someone who was a gentleman, would, you know, take care of me in the moment, which he did. And then after that, it was like,
no
see you
relationship.
later. Yeah, no.
Nothing.
It was very much like, I just want this to be my choice.
Wow.
And so I was very excited. I told my friends, I told my cousin who I'm very close to, I was like, I lost my virginity, yay. And then that was it. And then...
Was it everything you thought it would be?
No. I mean, I don't know. I've heard stories where they say it was, but I'm also like, is it ever?
Okay.
I feel like it was very...
When it finished, were you happy?
I felt proud.
Okay.
I felt proud that it was my choice.
Okay.
And after that, I just felt like, okay, I'm a woman now.
Wow.
So I felt like I had the power because now I chose this.
You're telling all your friends.
Yes, I told
Are your friends
everybody.
proud of you as well?
Yes, they were. They were excited. They were like, oh, tell us all about it.
Looking back on that woman, I don't want to go too far into your future, but looking back on that woman, what's your thoughts about her? If you were to meet her now and walk into that room after she's done and have a talk with her, what would you say?
I'd probably give her a hug because she needed to cry. She needed to let it out, but she was covering everything up. Okay. She was hiding everything. She was trying to act like everything was good, but it wasn't. Okay. It wasn't.
Wow. Okay, so let's move forward. You meet the guy at the party.
Yes.
It's intensely sexual and lustful, as you say. But at the time, you think it's love.
Yeah. I felt like I was in love with him. And as I said, we had the first night, a one-nighter. We knew it wasn't going to be a one-nighter because we actually liked each other. And so we got into some sort of situationship, eventually ended up being a relationship. And a few months into the relationship, I got pregnant. And then I miscarried.
Oh.
And then...
so when you got pregnant, is he happy?
Somewhat happy.
Or is he
but
like,
he
what
had
are
a
we
lot
going
of
to do?
questions. He said he tried to do the thing of, is it mine? And
These
I said,
ninjas, I'm so sorry. These ninjas, every single time.
Said,
it's so predictable.
Yeah.
Is it mine? Or the question, what are we going to do? Which basically means, can you go and abort the baby?
So I think he did actually ask me that question, but that was just like, no, that's not happening. And so he did do the is it mine sort of thing. And I was just like, yes, there is no one else that I'm speaking to or have been intimate with. And so I think I got to about 11 weeks pregnant now, so it was quite far on. And then they found out it was an ectopic pregnancy, which means the baby was stuck in the fallopian tube. Right. I was happy, of course, that I didn't have to have the surgery, but I was also devastated because this was my first pregnancy and now I'm losing.
What did your mum say?
She didn't know at this time, but I told her probably after, I think just as they were going to do the procedure, I told her, look, this has happened, I'm pregnant and now I'm actually losing the baby. And she was sad, of course, but she knew I was active.
If your dad was around, would you have got pregnant, do you think?
Probably not. I don't even know if I'd be dating like that, so yeah.
So it's another boundary gone.
Yeah.
You know, first boundary sexual, second boundary dad is gone. Now it's like, do you respect your mum? As in, are you afraid of her?
At that point, I was afraid,
To even tell her, because you told her. I would have never told my parents. I'm scared, too scared. I'll find another country to move to, personally. If I ever got someone pregnant, I'm leaving the country. I don't know where I'm going to get the money from, but I'm leaving the country. There's no way I'm coming home. Maybe Nigerian is different from...
I was going to say Caribbean homes are similar, but I definitely had fear for my mum, but I was just more like, this has happened.
Oh no, in West African homes you die. You only have those choices. You're dead or you run away. And I would run away personally. And I'll cry from a distance where they can't kill me. Yeah. And see what happens.
Cry from a distance.
Yeah. And then maybe they'll say, come home. Yeah. Or they may say, we disown you. That is the reality of West African homes. So you disown yourself.
Okay, so no, it wasn't that deep for me.
Okay, so
I was very rebellious at that stage.
Right.
That's important to say. I was very rebellious, and so even if she did have a lot to say at that time, she knew it wouldn't have gone anywhere because I was very much like, well, you haven't. I didn't know this at the time, but I was very much like, you haven't told me why my dad is not here. Yeah. So, you know, and so I think she kind of knew that, sensed it. So yeah. So she came to the procedure. She was there with me. He was there with me. And we went through the procedure. But I was very angry after that, and I was angry at God as well. At this point, I didn't have a good relationship with God. I had been saved at this point, so from 15, at 15, I gave my life to Him. But then I got into this relationship at 17 and said, okay, God, see you later.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy, how did he react to you losing the baby? Was he like, oh no?
Yeah, he was quite sad. He was actually quite sad, and it was quite genuine. I think he kind of came to terms that we were going to have a baby, and so he was sad, but he was also at that point, I think, more protective of me because we had built a relationship at this point.
Right.
So obviously, this had been like maybe 6 months, 7 months into the relationship now, so we're doing better. So after the miscarriage, we started to work more on like the foundation. We got closer, and to our friends became like couples goals and all of that stuff. So we were happy and we had some sort of esteem.
Are you in school, college?
I was in college, but I dropped out to focus on our relationship. Yeah. No, there was nothing around me. No one telling me, girl, get it together. I dropped out because I just got tired of working, like focusing, and I was like, he's here and I want to be in my relationship and be happy. I was trying to move too fast.
Wow.
And so I dropped out of college.
Caribbean homes are different. Drop out where? Where are you going?
But not all, I feel like not all Caribbean homes. This is, remember, single parent, and my mum was going through her
own thing.
process.
And what's your brother saying?
My brother's, he's 6 years older than me. He was living his life. He's gone to, or tried, I think he's going to uni at this point.
Okay.
And so he's navigating
his own stuff. He's not advising you, saying, what are you doing?
Get your life
together.
I wasn't really talking to him.
Okay.
He knew about the boyfriend. Okay. But no, he wasn't advising me. Yeah.
Wow.
God bless him, but he wasn't.
Wow.
So I was very much so navigating things on my own.
So is this man, is he like your boyfriend, but he's your husband?
He was everything.
And he's your father as well, I'm sure. Yes. He's like a father figure to you. He's a place of security and safety. Does he have money?
He had money. He had money, but this is the tricky part. So he had money, had a good job.
Okay.
Or a decent job, should I say. And at some point he loses this job. And now he starts to get a bit more promiscuous and starts speaking to people online, and I find messages.
Okay.
So now I find out that he's cheating on me, and I was devastated. I was heartbroken, and we kind of navigated that and came back from it. It got very aggressive. There was points where, I would throw things at him, throw things at the wall. I was very provoking. You told me before
it got aggressive, but it wasn't him, it was you.
Yes, I was very provoking. The Lord has delivered me, amen.
You were throwing hands.
I was throwing hands.
Wow.
And those little combs, the combs that have the metal bit, I tried to stab him with it a couple of times.
It's like, I can't kill you with it, but I'm going to hurt you, yes.
So I was trying to do damage because I was hurt. I was just like, how could you do this to me?
Wow.
And so it affected my worth, and bear in mind, my worth was already all over the place. I didn't feel worth much because my dad had left me and that was the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
However, now he had come in and he had become, like you said, a father. He had become a best friend. He had become that. And so now he was risking that. And so it was like, you're not going to do that. Don't do that to me. So we kind of navigated through that. He had said sorry, apologized, and we started to get better. But then he lost this job. And then I now felt like I need to keep you. I need to keep you happy. And so I said, okay, let me go back into work because I wasn't working at that point, had dropped out of uni. I was like, okay, I can do an apprenticeship. Let me go and do an apprenticeship.
You are giving wife salary on girlfriend wages here.
Yes.
Okay, so you went to work for your family.
Yes.
And you
Yes.
You're not living together at this point?
No, but I pretty much had moved into his parents' home. So I had moved into his parents' home. We was in the bedroom and that was our space.
Where's he from? Don't say Caribbean. He has to be Caribbean. There's no way. I don't care. In the West Africa. freaking home.
Yeah.
Even to go upstairs in the house when my parents were there. Where are you going? Upstairs to where?
Yeah, we very much lived
So
together.
you were
at that
sleeping
point.
over.
Yeah.
And
I had stuff. I had a drawer.
Now his oh, Jesus. And his parents.
Yeah.
Were they together?
They embraced me, yeah. His mum and dad, yeah, they embraced me.
And they let you live in his
I became
room.
a part of the family. Yeah. It was a fun time.
They didn't say where did you come from, where your parents, why are you here?
No, because we had been dating for a while, so they knew me.
Okay.
They were familiar with me, and I pretty much had moved in, had my drawer, was happy. And then, as I said, I went to do an apprenticeship. I started working, and then I saw some things that I didn't trust again. So I put my job at risk. I had actually gone through a lot of depression at that time.
Strange question,
as well.
But looking back again, if current you had the chance to go back and advise his parents, would you tell them anything?
Yeah,
what would you
I would probably say, this is not a good idea. You don't know me very well, number one.
Really stabbing up the boy. You should kill the parents too. I'm joking.
Oh,
go on.
I was not that psychotic,
Yes.
but yeah, I would have told them, you don't know me very well, you know, and also you're not giving him much boundaries. He needed boundaries at that time.
Right.
Yeah, because how this kind of ended, I think he got hurt more than I did.
Okay.
And bear in mind, this is again the father of my first child, so we're still very much so in contact, very much so have this one. We'll probably get there in the end, but his parents very much allowed this space to grow and for us to build the relationship more and more. So after this apprenticeship, or while I was at this apprenticeship, I started to get very depressed and started to feel like, you know, this man's always, I just don't trust him. He's always cheating on me. And I pretty much started to hear voices at this time, like, you need to check his phone. You can't trust him. You can't, you know, like, started to feel like I was going crazy. And so at that time, because I was
women are serious investigators.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get into investigative mode, it's a deep thing. You go into files and you find things you date reference everything and probably print stuff off and highlight for like.
I found it all. I found the Facebook messages, and this was way back then. I found all the text messages and all of that stuff, and so it was very heartbreaking when I found out. But it was so bad to the point now I was very, like, at this point, very depressed. I spoke to my doctors. They had put me on antidepressants at this point. They were very quick with that. They didn't really put me through counselling or anything like that. No, these days they don't ask questions. They just gave me the medication.
It's a money-making thing. So what did the medicine affect you in any way?
Yeah, it made me very, like, numb. But actually, I went to work one of these days where I wasn't trusting him. I felt very frustrated and actually overdosed on the antidepressants because I was feeling very, as I said, suicidal.
Suicide attempt?
Yeah.
You did that on purpose?
Yeah. I was ready to give up. Well, I was working in South Kensington at that point. Made the transit from South Kensington all the way back to the ghetto in South London. And I just went to bed for the rest of the day.
In his house?
In his house, his bed. And then I think the next day, I pretty much just started calling in sick and saying I can't come into work, and basically lost the job because I just was like, I'm not going back there. I don't trust him. This is it like I need to be here to watch him. I need to keep an eye on him. I wanted to watch him, I need to know what he's doing all the time. Does he have a job or? No, so at this point he didn't have a job, but he shortly after that got basically a new job where he was going. He was, now this was like a driving job, so he was going back and forth. And I just felt like, okay, I'm going to leave him, give it some space and see how things go.
Okay.
But this was during this time where now I was very friendly on Facebook. I had like people who weren't really friends on my Facebook. And so I met this girl who I had a mutual friend with. And she actually approached me at the time and saying, there's this place I know that's hiring.
Before you go into that, do you have a child? Did you have a child with him eventually? Or?
No, so we're still in a relationship. We have a child eventually, but not at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm
so you've broken off the relationship?
No, not yet. We're still together.
Okay.
We're still together.
Interesting. So
yes.
then, oh my goodness.
We're still
someone
together.
approaches you.
Yes. So she approaches me, and she tells me about this job for a receptionist role, in an escorting company.
This friend is who?
She's a mutual friend, so she's not even my friend.
Between you and the guy? Or
what do you mean?
Mutual friend between you and your...
No, on Facebook. Random person. I had a random person who had a mutual friend. Okay. We used to talk here and there. Like, you know how you talk with people now maybe on Instagram who you meet, you become familiar with them over a couple of times of talking. And so she just let me know about this job role. Okay. I was very naive. I was the kind of person that if I meet you once or speak to you once, I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? You know, like I'll become very friendly. I didn't have any boundaries. Right. And so she told me about the job role, escorting company, receptionist role. Okay. Didn't know much about escorting. I assumed it was women who went on dates with men. Right. They got paid to date men and to look a certain way. Okay. And so that's as far as I went. I was like, okay, yeah, sure. I need the money. If I can get money, then at this point, so what I didn't say is he had gotten himself into a lot of debt at the time, which I now know is not a lot, but it was like maybe 2,500 grand of debt. I was 18. As an 18-year-old at this point, that was a lot of money to me. So I was like, okay, I need to ensure that I can help him get out of his debt. So I took the job role, expected to be a receptionist. I went to the interview, which ended up being an induction. And the manager basically told me, hey, okay, so what are you willing to do? And I just kind of was like, I'm happy to do the role, you know, like she's told me a bit about the role. And stamping. Yeah, I didn't even say the filing. I said, oh, I'm quite efficient, you know, like in like admin, like I can do a lot of that stuff. And she was just like, admin? And she was just like, oh, this role is for, she's like, did she tell you about the role? And I was like, yeah, she told me a bit about what the role would be and about the company. And then she was just like, yeah, this isn't an escorting company. You're going to be having sex with the men for money, with the clients for money.
So who are you meeting at this point? Is this a pimp?
No. So how they had very much dressed, what I would call this place now at the end of the day is what it is. It's a brothel. Because it was a house, very nice dressed house in the outskirts of London, a very prestige area. And so you wouldn't walk past it and think, oh, you know, because they had signs and they done business downstairs. Very much so looked like some estate agents they do it from like places that are like houses. So from outside in the window, you can see the houses and all of that stuff. It looked professional. So I know that was their front, but now on the inside, when she started to show me around, that's when I started to see the bedrooms were dressed as bedrooms for you to actually
have sex
engage. And yes. And so the room I went into first was an office. It just, you know, looked like I was really being interviewed for what the role I thought it was. So she told me the basics of the role. And then after that, she was like, okay, so I'll get one of the girls to show you to the room. And in that moment, I was introduced to, yeah. And so nothing in my head was able to process, you're about to be a prostitute. You're about to have sex with men for money. Nothing in my head I was very much so stuck in the moment of receptionist role until I got into the room. And I realized the first client is coming in. You need to get yourself together. That day, within an hour.
Does nothing in your head say, no, absolutely not?
I was terrified.
Leaving, or what's going on in your mind?
Yeah, in my head, I was probably like, no, how dare you?
Okay, let me ask you this. It might sound like a weird question, but they say fear and excitement are the same emotion.
That's interesting. Probably.
Is there a little bit of whoosh, this is another thrill, another high, this could be exciting and interesting, or is it like, what am I doing?
I was terrified, but one thing I would say is I was addicted at this point to sex because I had been exposed in my relationship to a lot of pornography.
In your relationship?
In my relationship.
Why?
he was addicted to porn, and so he would watch porn casually, like as though you watch TV. He would watch it casually, to the point where now I started watching it very casually all the time, all kinds of pornography.
So slowly, your boundaries over time have been just
shattered,
completely gone.
Yeah.
Childhood break, fatherhood break. Now boyfriend breaks your security blanket. Pornography is already, and it's a drug. People don't know that it actually it completely rearranges the way you think.
Absolutely.
So now you're in this house. I'm still trying to understand. They've given you an interview. I know this is nothing the same. What I'm going to say is so daft, but it's nothing the same. I remember being interviewed for a fish and chippy. I go in a suit to my interview, and they talk to me, and straight away they're like, "All right, it's an Essex guy. You get this bit here, bish bosh bash. You're done, mate." That's what he said. Puts an apron on me, and I remember feeling like,
"What is?"
And in that moment, though, I threw the thing off and I ran out the back door.
Yeah.
And I
so you
home.
had the will to do that. So I was a people pleaser, and I didn't know how to deal with...
Do you know the other day what's interesting? I heard the voice of God say this to me, and I've never forgotten. He said, people pleasing comes from fatherlessness.
There you go.
Never heard it. Because I watch my children. My children love to please me. They love to.
Yeah.
Dad, I got you this. And they love, well, I got it for Dad first. You know, it's, but that's supposed to be there because a father's meant to be your first place of self-esteem with no real abuse. And now the father's gone, you're going to try, you can't say no to anyone.
Yeah.
It's very
I
difficult
didn't know how
to say no.
It's like in my head, I wanted to say no in that moment.
And that's real power. Real power is the ability to say no.
Yes.
And choose what you say yes to.
Yeah.
You're not saying no to anything. You're living in a guy's room. This is making, you know, boundaries are gone.
Yeah.
You go to, because most people watching this get judgy. They may, you know, comment or say some stupid, like stupid people do. I'm sure there's stupid people in the comment section, even right now. And I can just ignore them. But this is like, your mind has to be broken down over time. There is no way a certain age of you would have thought this is normal. If someone did that to you, you'd be like, shut up, I'm not a whore, get this off me, I'm out. But they put this thing on you. They said, you started. Did they tell you to dress nice, look nice?
Yeah, so they had basically the girl that had told me about the role. I didn't know this at this point, but she had already bought me lingerie.
Wow.
So she had already...
So she trapped you.
Yeah. So first of all, I was coerced into this because I was told something that wasn't true.
Okay.
So that's how they got me in. And then now she had already prepared the lingerie. And so how she done it to me is like, oh, you look so beautiful in this. Yeah, you should wear this. Oh, wow. Like all of this stuff. And I was insecure. My boyfriend's cheating on me.
Wow.
You know, he doesn't want me. And now, oh, I look so good. And oh, wow, they're going to love this. And it was pretty. So I felt like, okay, I'm dressing up to... You know, just like I would when I would go out to the club, and you know,
so
I'm
you didn't call your boyfriend and
say,
"Hey, dude"?
I didn't call anyone.
No one.
I shut down internally, and I fixated on, okay, let's get through this. Whatever is gonna happen, let's get through this. So, yeah.
So what's drawing you to this role is
paying his debt. Paying his debt, clearing his debt. He'll love me if I clear his debt. So, yeah.
And so you get this, and did they tell you your pay?
Yeah, so they went through the pay. The pay was high. So if I booked a client for like an hour, which sounds crazy, but an hour, then I could get I think it was 800 to 1K. So it was a lot. So in that hour, within that hour, you would do things like massage, boost ego, conversation.
So they're training you how to talk to these guys.
Yeah. And then obviously you would be intimate, and it included all kinds of different things, which I'm not sure if you want to go into, but I can. It included different types of things, but so they would have to tick off. So it's diverse types of
sexual acts that you mentioned you would do.
Yes. So you had to tick the box of what you would do and what you wouldn't do.
Okay.
And so I had obviously things that I wasn't comfortable doing, but the majority of things I had actually just allowed. So I had actually ticked off, I'm okay with this, this, and this, because I knew it meant more money. And the more money, the quicker I would be out of here.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. And in that tick, out of curiosity, is there some kind of I would with women too?
No. So interestingly, I don't think we ever had women come.
Okay.
But in terms of the co-workers, yeah. So
Okay.
the co-workers, if someone came in and they wanted a threesome, that was ticked yes. So I was very loosey-goosey, as they say.
Okay. So
Yeah.
a client, the first client comes in. What's
Yeah.
your thoughts?
I'm scared. I feel like anything can happen. Really, I wanted to just cry. But I also just felt like, let's just go. Let's just, we were allowed to drink alcohol. So at that time I had drank like a couple shots of alcohol
to get yourself.
So that I could
Was
just
there
go
ever any
for it.
drugs involved?
Yeah, all the girls around me were doing drugs. They were doing speed. They were doing all the drugs.
Did you ever do drugs?
No, not those kinds.
Why didn't
thank
you?
God. I was terrified. I was terrified of becoming addicted. Because although I would have never said that I knew I was addicted to sex. I knew I was addicted to sex. So I didn't want to have that. I didn't want that to have that power over me where now I need this thing and I could actually die of it if I don't get it.
So the first guy comes in.
Yeah. It was scary because also what I would say is that the clients were not my type. They were not the kind of guy that I would choose to be with. They were grown men. Most of them were married. And so that's a whole nother thing that I had to go into when I finally understood what I had done, repenting and all of that stuff. But they were grown men, married men, some of them Caucasian men. And it was out of my natural, like, this is not where I'm, where I've been comfortable, what I know. It was not my norm. And so now I'm just like, okay, let's go. Let's put on this mask and go into this space of performance. And so that's what I done.
Did anyone know about it?
No, not for a long time. Not for a long time until I was past, I think, about 22. So this was at 18. When I was about 22, that's when I told
18 to 22. So how many years did you do this for?
Oh, I didn't do it for it wasn't more than a year. I was in the job for just over 2 months.
Okay.
So I was able to get the money that I needed to pay off his debt. And
this really was to pay the money?
Yeah. I wasn't trying to stay there. And what I've learned now, God, even though I didn't see him throughout the journey, he really gave me grace to leave. Because where I work now, I work with women who have been through similar situations. Right. And exiting the sex industry in any form is never that easy.
Why?
Yeah, because they always find ways to come after you. They usually know where you live. They usually have some sort of contact or some sort of tie. They have persuasions or holds over you.
I'm sure blackmail as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put you out
Photos,
there.
all of that stuff. Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, I'm sorry to go into this, and I do want to leave this area. Did you ever like your gag reflex? Was it ever there? Like, oh, you see a guy, you're like,
yeah, absolutely, all the time.
You want to be sick just looking at maybe someone. For example, I'm always thinking this. What if you see someone who's fat, ugly, smells a lot, and then they walk in? Do you still go, or do you say no to that client?
No, you can say no. Absolutely, you can definitely say no. So you had a form of choice, but somebody else had to accept them. If no one else was going to accept them, then you was put into a situation where you had to offer something. If you're not going to do the full, whatever they're asking for, you had to offer something. But in terms of the gag reflex, I had that about myself. I couldn't look myself in the mirror.
So when you couldn't look at yourself,
no.
Go back into the room and meet the girl who has just been told you're beautiful, you're pretty, you know, it's gonna be all right, it's gonna be fun, you're gonna enjoy yourself, what would you do to her or tell her?
Run, get out, leave, don't look back.
Do you hate her?
I don't hate her. I have a lot of compassion for her. She was very lost, very, very broken, and struggling with addiction. That was the real hold. If the addiction wasn't there, she wouldn't have said yes.
People don't ever associate women with sexual addiction. It's usually a guy thing.
Yeah.
Do you think there are a lot of women struggling?
Way more. I think it's probably more women than men.
I don't know about that.
I really do.
Really?
I really do. I think women have a good way of hiding it, and
but
especially
it
in
must
this
be
day
for
and
a different
age.
reason. Do you think
Emotional
men
connection,
have a
yeah.
different sexual addiction reason from women? Because this is my thought process. It's a wild thought process, so
Yeah.
get ready for it. It's worse than the suicide thought.
Yeah.
When men cheat, it's different from women.
Yeah.
Because to me,
Sometimes.
a man cheats, a man is almost using a woman to sort of,
Ego stroke or boost.
not just ego stroke or boost, but he's using it to get over his sexual impulse.
Oh, appetite. Okay, yeah.
For a woman, they're far more guarded psychologically because it's like, I could get pregnant. So the psychology of women, they're not as liberal as men. For example, you don't see women out there, now you do, of course, sexual revolutions make things a bit different. But you don't see a lot of women wolf whistling at guys or slapping their bum or whatever, because something in the psychology of women at least is still there that if anything happens, you bear the repercussions in terms of pregnancy. A man can sleep with several women and it doesn't show, maybe STDs, but it doesn't show in terms of, you know, how things look. Was there a reason for your sexual addiction? What were you trying to
I honestly
fulfill?
I feel like, and that's why I feel like sometimes women deal with it as much as men, because it's not always just an emotional connection and thinking of, you know, the consequences. At that moment in my life, I really was just addicted to the satisfaction, to how it made me feel physically, but also how the power it gave me, because now I know men are desiring me and I have the power to this goes into because I was
please them
really
and satisfy them, and
I was very much and I very much so believe I was operating in the spirit of Jezebel at that point, because I very much was controlling. I had power, and I knew I had power because I knew I was desirable. I knew that I was young, and even this lasted till after I had my daughter. God had to really take me through deliverance, because I now knew I'm desirable, and even more so because I have a child for some reason. I don't know why, but because I have a child.
Wow.
So.
Okay, so you leave this thing. What was your last day?
So the last day was why I left. Because I probably could have stayed there a little bit longer, because I was like, more money, stack it up and just, you know. But the last day was the last day, because the last client that I had, and my hours were like 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. or 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. And so these were 12-hour shifts where I would do whatever with whoever. The last client who came in was actually supposed to be with a colleague of mine, but she wasn't feeling well. And so I said that I would like fill her spot. And that I didn't know that she had said that she would do something in particular that was usually my no-go. So he came in and he attempted to do that thing. And I told him no. I think it was about 3 times I told him no, and he didn't listen. And so he started to obviously force himself and try to just continue. And I kept saying no. And then there was a point where he pushed me down.
Was there any security in the house? Any guys?
In the house, at the door, yeah. So there was one guard. He weren't really like a guard, how you picture a guard. He was sitting there having like a cigarette break, or, you know, like just communicating with the manager. But so this happened. He's now pushed me down. But like, and I laugh about it now because I was very much into like WWE. I was like, I'm gonna somehow protect myself, get myself out of this. And so I managed to, just as he had been like holding me down, mid whatever, I got myself out of it and ran to the bathroom and told my manager about what had happened. And they got the guard and escorted him out, and apparently took him off the books and all of that stuff. But I couldn't process what had happened until probably a year later. And that's when I realized I was actually raped. And I didn't realize that that was rape, because what I knew of rape was someone getting beaten up really badly, and forced obviously upon. And because I didn't get beaten up, I just was like, oh no, that's normal. I didn't like it.
Did the man succeed in doing the act?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But that's, as I said, I got out. So I managed to not get him off of me, but I managed to get out of him, out from under him and out of the room. So yeah, it was.
Wow. So you only realized later, because again, your boundaries are just.
Yeah.
So you probably normalized this sort of thing.
All of anything around sex was normalized to me. Choking was normalized. All of those things were normalized. And so I had a lot of aggression. Everything was just normalized around sex. And so I didn't, I thought everybody was doing this. And so until I realized I don't feel safe, I need to get out now. Otherwise this could be, it could go really wrong. That's when, I was able to get out. Yeah.
So that was the day you said, quit. How did you
yeah.
quit? Did you tell them I'm out?
No, I
just walk away?
asked to go home after that incident. I got home, I blocked their numbers, deleted their numbers, and never heard from them again.
Did you ever tell the guy?
The boyfriend?
Yes.
I tried to tell him. So I tried to tell him. This was now after our child was born, when I'm breaking up with him. So
wait a minute.
Yeah.
So you're still together with him this whole time?
Yeah, you're just processing.
Okay. So while this is happening,
yes,
you're still with him.
Double life, yeah.
He doesn't know.
No. So I was living a double life. I was ensuring, obviously.
So where did you think you were going?
A job that I told him was a receptionist for a company. So the lie they told me became my lie that I was living.
You told him. Yeah. Wow. So does your mom know where you're at this time?
Receptionist.
Receptionist. Okay.
Everyone thought I was a receptionist.
Wow.
Working for this company.
Were you going to church at the time still, or no?
No. I couldn't bear church at this point. The church I was at was very Pentecostal, very Holy Spirit filled. So anyone
I'm so sorry.
was it's Caribbean.
One of these Church of God in Christ type things. Okay, so you're not going to church either, because they're going to spit hellfire.
They would detect straight away. They would detect.
They're prophetic people.
Yeah,
they're deep.
Because when I did eventually go back, the first day, one of the mums came and hugged me, and she just started saying everything, and she said everything, and I wept like I'd never wept before. Started vomiting, and it was just.
Okay, we'll get there. So this guy don't know, but you're about to break up. So now you're about to break up. You're like, let me blow this whole thing up.
Yeah, I had to tell him.
We don't know when you've had your child. When did you get the child?
No, so 19, I left that place. I actually found out I was pregnant shortly after, pregnant with him, after this situation, but I miscarried again. And so now I hated God even more, because I said, God, how could you let me go through this? This can't be, my life. It can't be it. And I'm still in sin, still doing whatever I'm doing with my boyfriend. I get pregnant again. This is the third time now. And that's when I prayed, which I now know is the prayer of Hannah. Lord, if you keep this child in my womb, I'll give her to you. She'll serve you. All of this stuff. And I prayed this prayer. I was like, this is going to happen, Lord. I don't want to go for another miscarriage, because that last miscarriage was very horrible. Yeah. As in, I miscarried and I saw the embryo. And so I prayed that prayer, and God was faithful throughout the pregnancy. I turned 20 throughout my pregnancy. And then that's when I had her, and we celebrated. We was very happy.
Wow.
She felt like my promise.
Wow.
She felt like my Isaac. And I've actually shared this with a few people in ministry. Like, she felt like my Isaac,
Wow.
my promised child, and all of the rest.
And she's a beautiful soul.
Yes, she is.
She is.
She is.
She's
Yes.
a very lovely young girl.
Yes.
Wow. So you have this baby, now break up. How's that come about?
Yeah. So I went away to my mum's country, Grenada, had a good break in the sense of was able to clear my mind and get myself on track. I had started going back to church at this point, and so the healing had started. Deliverance was taking place, and so I started to align myself to where
This
God
is when you
wanted
met
me.
the lady in church, and she said,
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so I had actually been raving the day before, club after club, was
My
drunk.
God.
I came to church hungover. Apparently I smelled like alcohol. I didn't know that. It was apparently oozing from my pores. And so I came, and this lady who knew my family, so my family were in the church at that time as well. We had a very powerful service. I had cried a little bit, but was trying to keep myself together. Then she came over to me, hugged me, and said everything. And that was the trigger.
Everything?
She just said everything. It's like she saw
Explain
everything.
what she said. Tell me what she said.
So what I know, or what I understand now, is she saw everything that was on the inside. So the depression, she saw it. She saw all the like suicidal thoughts, everything that the enemy had been trying to trap me in. She said everything.
Now, at this point, did you go through a deliverance at this point? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Before this deliverance, did you ever know the devil was involved? Was he so well hidden that you couldn't see him? Or did you ever have like demonic? Did the devil ever show himself?
No, he never showed himself. But I had very dark encounters to the point. So this is from when I was a little girl, to be honest. I used to always have dreams, and I used to always see things at night time. And like at this point in the relationship, I used to wake up and feel like I saw somebody at the end of the bed, or I saw somebody in the room, or I sensed something in the room. And so these things were happening. But I think before this deliverance took place, I would hear voices. As I said before, I would hear like, you know,
kill yourself.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, all of those things. Like, so I was actually self-harming a lot during that time of my life, and the self-harming started from when I was 15.
Is the self-harming trying to feel something?
Yeah, I wanted to. I had a lot of self-hatred, so I didn't feel like I deserved to live. But I also would do the self-harming oftentimes just to release the anger and the pain. So it was trying to just get it out of my system. Wow. But then there were points where now the self-harming was more than that, because I actually didn't want to live. So when I was hearing a lot of those whispers, it was very much like, you deserve to die. You know, nobody loves you. No one cares about you. Just stuff like that, voices like that. And so, yeah, a lot of that took place throughout that time.
So this woman comes, she prays to you.
Mm-hmm. And says everything.
And what happened? What did you experience?
I experienced I would call it a tsunami of emotions that came up first. As in, I took a deep breath and just blurted out and started crying and wailing. And then I started vomiting. And then I started.
I always see people go through this vomiting. What is that? Is it like, because I've never vomited before.
Have you not?
No. Maybe I need deliverance. I don't know. I've never. But I see people, and you know, I have a serious, like, sympathetic gag reflex. So whenever they start doing that, and unfortunately we go through a lot of deliverance being in church, so people go, I say, so I turn around. Maybe it's my demon, I don't know. But I turn around and I'm looking away.
Yeah.
What is that? Did you feel possessed?
I didn't feel possessed, but I felt like there was something on the inside of me that had been subduing and like keeping me down.
Yeah.
So when all of that came up, and this was not the complete
Now, had you ever
deliverance,
seen
by the
anyone
way.
vomit before?
No. So
because sometimes it's like, well, we've seen it before. It's like, oh, that's deliverance behavior. So let me vomit.
Yeah.
Did someone say vomit, vomit, vomit?
No. So
you just literally felt like.
Yeah, the church I was in was very old school, so they had like cloths that they would cover people when they were going through deliverance as well.
I hate that. Sorry, I find it so funny. I was in a church. The person wasn't even immodest in any way. They were dressed fully, and then you just see them.
Yeah.
Sleep them.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So every time deliverance had taken place, I'd never really seen what had happened.
Right.
So now when the vomiting was happening, I didn't fully understand. But also,
did you tell yourself, stop this? What is this stuff?
I did. I pulled myself back. At some point, I realized this is too much, and I kind of pulled myself back. And I think from that moment, it was kind of like that was it. She kind of counseled me, spoke to me about things, and that's when they told me about
something.
Did you tell
her everything?
No, I didn't. So she told me about something that the church was doing at the time, which was called healing rooms, and where they invited people to come to be healed, whether they were physically sick, emotionally, spiritually, etc. They came,
we
and
need
so
that in Light London.
Yes, amen, amen.
Wow. Yeah.
But
people come broken.
They do,
and they're an open door for the enemy to really tear things up.
Yes. Yeah.
Imagine if you didn't get fully delivered. What damage could you do inside a church?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. It was needed. It was necessary. So I actually went to the healing rooms, and I went there because they'd done it once a month. I went there for about 3-4 months, and I went through deliverance. Now this was a safe space where I could vomit and do whatever needed to happen throughout that time, and so. My first session, when I went through the deliverance, I didn't understand what was happening because I just started laughing every time she said, "I command you to." I just was like, ha ha ha,
so
laughing.
That's not funny, but
it was
that's a mocking spirit. Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't know.
I think my wife went through the same thing. That's why I laugh, because my wife really mocked the people doing deliverance on her. And they say, remove her wig, and then sometimes that demon in the wig. I'm sorry, but go on. Yes.
So that mocking spirit kept coming up. I was laughing, so that happened.
Could you control it? Were you
I tried to cover my mouth, but I kept laughing loud, but eventually it came out.
Because I guess your soul gets so numb.
Yes, I was so numb. I was very numb to everything.
And this is just ridiculous.
Yeah. But there were so many spirits that were coming out. So that one manifested that way. Then I had another one that just kept yawning loudly, like just
That was interesting. When I went through deliverance, I fell asleep. That was my deliverance.
You fell asleep?
When I woke up, I was fine.
Oh, God.
I went to like a healing room. They took me through, say this, renounce. I'm renouncing. And that was it. And the people were they were there because they said this is normal. Some people vomit. For me, it was like the load of all the trash I've held onto all my life. And I went through deliverance for what church people have done to me. So I needed to sleep. So all this stuff leaves and I pass out. And I woke up, it was like the sweetest sleep I've ever had. I think it was like over 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But it felt like 5 days of sleep.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm good now. I'm good. Let's go. Okay, so you're laughing. You're going through the cynical state. Next day, you're going through what?
The yawning.
Yawning.
And then after that, it was the vomiting. More of the vomiting. So now all of what needed to come out.
Did they have to break soul ties? Did you ever get honest with them and tell them?
Yeah, I told them everything.
Wow.
This was the point now where I first told everything. It was freeing. It was so freeing, and it was really needed. I felt the shame initially, but once I started talking, it kind of just, and I was released from it. So I had to break the soul ties from that time of working at that place. But then now the other relationships that I was in.
And all the way to childhood, did you deal with that?
All the way, yeah. I dealt with some of the childhood, not the molestation. So the molestation, I never told anyone about until I got married.
Wow.
So that one stayed locked down because that was the birth of everything. And so I didn't know how to deal with that one. So when I got married, that's when the Lord actually helped me deal with that myself. So, yeah.
So you go through this deliverance, you're vomiting all these soul ties and issues. How did you feel after your deliverance?
I was exhausted.
Yeah.
That was the first thing I felt, exhaustion.
Did you go back to your boyfriend's house, or you've broken up by now?
No, I went back to his house. Because
God
that soul
God is
tie,
really trying with us.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I feel sorry
he
for
was
God
trying.
sometimes. I'm like, have you
I
seen
couldn't
that
let
meme
that
of the
one
sheep?
go. Yes,
Who the shepherd
with
frees,
it.
and it's like, oh man.
Yeah, it was that. That's what was
Okay.
happening. I couldn't let go of that one. And I feel like God really was patient with me with that one,
Yes.
because now he's the father of my child.
Yes.
And so I've had the child at this point.
Right, so there's a connection.
And so although we had split up in some sense, we were still very much connected. I still was sexually active with him, because I didn't know how to let it go until I think it was a few months after we had the counseling with the pastor, or I had the counseling with the pastor regarding like the healing rooms situation. And I was saying I'm finding it hard to stop all of this stuff and just live for God. She kind of gave me just a few words of wisdom on how to handle it. And she was actually wise. She said, we're not going to break this soul tie until you're finished, until you know you're done.
Ready to walk
and
away.
You're not going to go back, because she explained, you know, when the demon leaves, it finds seven stronger. And so I was just like, okay, we'll deal with this once I'm ready. And
what people don't realize in deliverance, you're not just dealing with devils. You're dealing with your fractured soul.
Yes. Yeah.
And some people think every manifestation is a demon. It's not always a demon.
Yeah.
It's sometimes just the fragments of the soul that is so broken and so schizophrenic that everything sort of has to come back together, and you have to agree with yourself. So even if part of you is like, I'm out, this is crazy, there's still a whole part of you that's like still in the bed with him, still loves him, still wants to be. I mean, that's the human experience. It's a very fractured experience.
Yeah, and oftentimes I say to people, this is why I believe God heals sometimes in layers, especially concerning our soul, because we have to come into agreement with him. And so for me, that was my experience. He healed in layers. He by my agreement, each stage was different. And so I eventually came into agreement. The relationship was over. I had closed the door completely now. There was no more interactions, and God started to heal in that area. Wow, it was good.
Okay, so you closed the door on the relationship. What was the final seal? What made you like?
I moved into my own place, and he actually helped me move in. Him, his dad, his brother. And then as he was getting ready to leave, or they kind of went, he kind of turned to me and was trying to like have whatever we had before in terms of like intimacy, and I was just like, no. I said, I'm really done now. I'm like really done. And so I just want us to be friends, and I'm not going to go there again. And I explained it to him.
Did your deliverance have something to do with your no?
Yes, absolutely.
Because this sounds like the first time you've properly said no.
Yeah. It was the first time I actually said, I am done. And
so
I'm not going
your power back.
Yes. And that's the thing that I was confused about, because I remembered when I had given the power to, or I had taken the power, should I say, to say yes to the person and choose the person that I wanted to be with the first time. It's like after that, I was like, why can't I get this power back? Where is it
So
back?
the first contract is made when you were younger, against your will almost. Well, the girls had pulled down, so there was a bit of a will there, but it was almost like a violation. Second contract is you get with this guy, you agree, and then you live in his house. Second contract, you didn't really accept as your parents' divorce. You just had to come to agreements with yourself. In some ways, that this is the new normal. Then you get into a contract with it. Everything is like a contract and a deal. It's like, and you just yes. Then it's prostitution. Several contracts there. And that contract has contracts in it. Then suddenly you leave that contract. Yes. You didn't really say no. You were just kind of like almost
escape.
You were raped and you had to escape that one. But you're still continuing the sexual activity because there's an addiction. Now the deliverance is really about breaking these contracts. That you've made.
Absolutely.
You go through them, and now each one is giving you the strength to just go, do you know what? I have my life back now.
And so I definitely, saying the no to him was a big one. And it allowed me to have a freedom. However, again, I didn't understand that the freedom now needed to be with a lot of self-control, which was what I was yet to really grasp. And so I did have a few more encounters after that
With him?
with no other people.
Other people. Yeah, because deliverance needs to be to something.
Yes.
There was something you were looking for in sex.
Yes.
That's why Jesus finds a woman. She's got 5 husbands. The one she's with now isn't even hers, yes? And he says, I want to give you living water.
Yeah.
If I don't give you this, and I set you free from that, but I don't give you what you were really looking for, was complete and total love.
Yes, yeah.
And so if I deliver you from, but I don't deliver you to, and part of the deliverance too is not just love, it's to your purpose.
Absolutely, yeah.
To your destiny, to your assignment. Part of what keeps us disciplined is the assignment. It's like, this is where there's no vision, we lose discipline, we lose restraint. So you're not delivered into many things.
No.
You just kind of, okay, so I need a guy.
So yeah, I was still very much navigating how to have a relationship with God, how to understand God, how to hear God. So I wasn't really understanding that I was hearing God. And so I was just like, okay, I'm just going to go back to what I know. And so now I was single, and I hadn't been single for a good however many years. It was like 5 years I hadn't been single for. And so now it was like, okay, I'm going to enjoy myself and just be a single girl. What a single girl's doing. The ones around me were sleeping around. And so I said, okay, I'm going to see how this goes. And I think it was the 3rd encounter I had, and this was with somebody I knew, was friends with. I had been going to church. I had been doing this, and I was very lukewarm because now I'm getting fed the word. I'm understanding the word. I'm having spiritual encounters. So now I'm stuck because I feel like, God, I want to go this way, but I still feel tied to this. And so I had this situation happen where now I've got my own place. He's come over, and he obviously wanted to get physical. So I'm allowing it. But now I'm not realizing I've received the Holy Spirit. And so now he's going to be grieved. He doesn't want you to do this. You need to, and you know this because in your head you're saying this is not good. You shouldn't be doing this. And so we actually started to get physical, and I started to literally, like, what I understand as, it wasn't a demonic manifestation. It was really the Holy Spirit grieving and saying no. And I started weeping. Right. Hysterically. He was so weirded out.
Oh, the guy must be like...
I was weeping hysterically.
Am I that bad?
Yeah.
Wow.
To the point I couldn't even speak. I just said, I need you to leave, and continued weeping. And he left. And then that was the moment for me where things completely switched.
Wow.
So... yeah.
So you're not in that church anymore. You must have moved to another church.
Yeah. So I actually was still in that church. I was in that church until I met my husband. So I met my husband. He came to perform, and then that's when we...
Oh, he was rapping, and you were like, hey, this guy is my guy. I like him.
Yes, I did. I liked his sound and his style and all of this stuff.
He's very stylish.
Yeah.
Till now.
He is. He is. So I gave a short testimonial video on that day. So the video played, and he came to find me after the video, and we connected as friends. Even though we both knew it was more than friends, we weren't in a position where it was like, oh yeah, we can date. He had a partner at the time. And I wasn't dating, but someone was interested in me. Right. And I was trying to do things the right way. So yeah, after that, I think God spoke to us both, and we both kind of ended our things in its time.
How was it navigating Christian dating? Was it tough?
I think with my husband, it was interesting. It was very, how do I say it? Like very rigid, it was very new. And so I didn't understand some things, but I think we both were eager to honor God. Yeah. So we done things very Christian in the sense where we started a fast before we dated.
Come on, this is different. It's nice.
We was like, Lord, is this the person you want us to be with? We fasted before we got together, done a 21-day fast. On the 21st day, we was like, we both are in agreement.
At what point do you tell him your secrets?
So I actually told him everything on the first day where we had a phone call. The first day we ever spoke, he called me and I blurted out my whole testimony. everything.
Wow.
And then after I came off the phone, I threw my phone on the floor and was like, God, why did I do that?
What
Why
did
did
I
you do that? Yeah.
But he didn't run away. He didn't leave. He was there.
No. He actually told me he was so inspired.
Wow.
And I just said, you're weird. Why are you inspired by my story? So yeah.
Okay, we have to fast forward because we got about 15 minutes
that's
here.
fine.
So you moved to his church, or you start ministry together when you get married, or how did it work?
So I was in the church that I met him in. I was actually in the worship team, and he came in and kind of got plugged in for a bit. We got married, so this was 9 months later. We got married, not 9 months, sorry. We met a year after. Within that time, he proposed. We met 2 months after he proposed. 9 months after that, we got married.
Okay.
So this was all like within a year. After we got married, that's when we decided we're going to move to the church he was at when we met. And so we started going to that church for a bit. And we were just trying to navigate things. We were just trying to understand, where do you want us to be, Lord? Is this the right church home we're supposed to be at? And it didn't fit very, very well. We hadn't become members, so we were just visiting. Then we became a part of a church plant. And it was in this church plant that God really started speaking to us about ministry and doing ministry together. And then we met a couple that we actually were a part of my old church that you actually know, Xenia and Josh. So we met them, and they were part of Light London. And so they were doing, I think it was called David's School or a KB at the time. I can't remember if it's Kingdom Builders already, but
the good old days.
Yeah,
yes.
So they were doing that, and it was in your house at Woolwich, and so
David's
we joined.
Camp.
Yeah, David's Camp. There we go. We joined online on Facebook.
Wow.
And so we got plugged in, and we were learning from there. We was like, wow, this is amazing. We have to visit. We have to visit. And none of the times was working out because we was part of the church plant. But then the Lord told us one day, I'm actually calling you out of this place. And we left the church plant just before the church decided to just diffuse. Like they said, they're not doing this anymore. Wow. And that's when we came to Light London. And the first day we visited, you said, when are you joining? And we were like, okay, today, I guess. Wow. So yeah.
And then you came, you were with us for a while.
Yeah.
And you said, God has called us out.
Yeah.
How was that period out?
It was quite overwhelming, to be honest, because we really felt like we heard from God. And I still to this day believe we heard that the Lord was calling us to start a ministry.
Yes.
But we didn't understand that. We didn't understand protocol and having the ministry maybe under you and having mentorship and covering.
Because you were really just going to run out by yourselves and do ministry and start a thing. And you came back. Yeah. You became the leaders of Ignite.
The youth ministry,
And how's that been?
That was amazing. It was a real time of God reawakening. I think initially when you put us over youth, we were like, oh, youth, oh my gosh, like what, why,
young
and
adults,
all of this.
We called them to make it sound nicer.
So it was a weird time for us, but we also just said yes. We said, Lord, you've put us here for a reason. Let's just do it.
And the amount of young adults that have been touched ever since. And I remember you shared your testimony on TikTok, and it blew up the ministry.
Yeah, it did.
But that fame came with a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it did.
And you were in a TikTok storm, and people were just really hurling abuse.
Yeah, a lot of nasty comments, a lot of horrible things said, even against my family, like myself, my husband, our children. I think there was a death threat there, something like, I can't even remember what it was, but it was something like, you deserve to die or something like that. It was crazy.
People just hate themselves.
Yeah.
How did you navigate that?
The first day I was in panic and I cried, and I think I called you as well, and was just quite overwhelmed. And then after that, I think I was more overwhelmed because my daughter was, she had just started secondary school. And so I was very much like, what are her friends going to think, and what are, You know, what if they find out they're on TikTok, that's her age group, etc. So I was more like, how do I protect her? But once I got past that, I was just like, do you know what, people are going to be however they're going to be, and I can't control it, and I don't also feel like I need to. I feel like God will protect.
It had a big blessing on the ministry.
It did.
You got all the way to the House of Lords.
Yes.
You got to do things in government.
Yeah.
And now you're helping young people, and especially young women all over the world. And you started a church in Birmingham.
Absolutely, yes.
Light Birmingham started with a big bang. Wow.
Yeah.
What a God we serve. Looking back, now you're in prophetic ministry, you're in full-fledged. If you had the chance to go back, would you do it again?
No, I wouldn't.
But would you have it any other way?
I wouldn't. I feel like everything that's happened, I've always been a believer, everything happens for a reason, but I think God really had his hand over me regardless of what happened. From the prostitution, God's hand was over me. I didn't meet anyone nasty. I wasn't drugged. You know, I wasn't trafficked, which is the most important part, because a lot of people who enter prostitution are trafficked.
Right.
And so God protected me. And to be at this point, I'm now in ministry, and actually the majority of people who come to me and say I was blessed by your story are also coming from that background. Right. So I'm thankful, and I wouldn't change it.
Can you look into a camera? If you look into this camera, just pray for someone watching. Encourage them, whatever God puts on your heart.
Yeah, absolutely. So Father, I just pray for the person watching today, the woman or even the man, Lord. I pray that you will just allow this story to minister to them, Father, where they feel that they connect with this story, where they feel they connect, whether it's the childhood, whether it's the, you know, prostitution or the heartbreak, the father wounds, the mother wounds. Lord, I'm praying right now that, Father God, you will speak to them in every area where they need to begin the healing, Lord. I pray that you will begin the healing work. Father God, remind them that you are a redeemer. Remind them, Father God, that you are one who sees them. You are El Roy. And Lord, I'm praying right now, even as it says in your word, you're one who catches our teardrops in your bottle. Lord, I'm praying right now that you will remind them, even in the moments where they're weeping, that you are with them, that your promise is to never leave them. Father, I'm praying right now that they will know you as a redeemer, just as I have known you as a redeemer. Father, will you restore? Will you restore every area that is broken? And Father, give them hope for this future, Lord. Give them hope for what you have, for the plans that you have for them. I'm praying, Father God, that this will be a seed and even an imprint, Father God, in their story and in their journey that will just shift them into a new direction. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Wow, what a story. It's going to bless a lot of people.
Amen. Praise God.